You might be wondering why this is important to me, and the reason to that is very simple. I'm not a technocrat, by which I mean I don't think that there is a mathematically most efficient way to create the society that I want to live in. I think that the society that I want to live in requires a political system that has some kind of morality, a shared moral center, and I believe that before any of that, you need to have some kind of eschatology, some kind of understanding of really what this life is. What is this existence? Because this is what we've been discussing. If you really come to the conclusion that this existence is about making money, buying stuff, and collecting wealth, then you're going to turn evil. So we need to have some understanding of why we're here. So this here is the divine, also called monad, also called strings. Now what this box represents is a fourth dimensional matrix of oscillating frequencies. Okay, these frequencies basically take up what we kind of understand to be an infinite amount of space. Well, because they're four dimensional. Time is irrelevant to the divine. Okay, time is irrelevant to these strings. They exist in a quantum superposition, and their harmonizations and discords create matter. This is the material plane. For any of you people who are like, this guy sounds crazy, this is string theory. This is string theory, okay? That's why strings is written here. But Plato called it the divine, or he called it the monad, which means divine. This is common, historic, natural philosophy, and today we call it string theory. If you're interested in that, there is a YouTube video you can watch. It's called A Rock is Trapped Light from the YouTube channel Art of the Problem. He explains exactly how frequencies create matter. It's just physics, actually. It's a real thing. I mean, the strings in string theory are real, or at least it's a predictive model of understanding the way that matter and light interact. Important to discuss before we move into the material plane is that neither time nor space exist from the perspective of the divine. We don't know why the strings are doing what they're doing. When Isaac Newton mathematically represented gravity and defined the gravitational constant, which we still use today to mathematically predict gravity, he believed that the gravitational constant was a sustained force from God. Like, as though when we come down to Earth, that's God just holding us down to Earth. That was his explanation, because he was like, why is this number making the apple fall? And he's like, well, I guess God's doing it. That's kind of what this is. I mean, we don't know. We don't know. It could just be an entropy thing, like some kind of energy type thing is like fluctuating through like a four-dimensional timeless space comprised of one-dimensional oscillating strings, but we don't know why. I mean, a sustained force by God is as good as anything else. We can understand this as the Holy Spirit in Christianity, or if you are not a Trinitarian, we can understand this as God's creation tools, or you can understand this as some kind of like entropy force of randomly vibrating strings if you're not into God, because this is really important. We don't know what determinism there is, so we don't know if the material plane is actually able to affect the divine plane. And the reason for that is because of the timeless nature of the divine plane. It's impossible to observe changes in real time because it is constantly changing in real time. Think about it this way. Each frame of our time, we are in a new position in the divine, right? It's as though we are falling through the divine. Like how you can understand gravity as though we're always falling towards the earth, which is always falling around the sun. You can understand the divine in a similar way as this is beyond space and time. This is the fabric of space and time. And we are constantly falling through the fabric of space-time. Oh, but yes, that is what we don't know about determinism. Because we're constantly falling, we don't know if we can change our trajectory. I mean, we don't know really anything because we can only see from our moment in time. We can't actually make predictive understandings of how the frequencies are going to fluctuate, at least not at this time. I'm sure there's scientists working on that right now, but we don't know if basically the strings confirm a predeterministic universe, as though our personal future already exists and we are kind of inevitably moving towards that, or if we can, change the course of history. That's why it's important to think of it as God's creation tools. because God gave us all free will. So if that's true, well then hell yes. It's also important to think of it as the Holy Spirit because it's what binds us. It's like the Force in Star Wars. It is all permeating, all knowing, whether you like it or not. Whether it is randomly fluctuating strings or not, it is something that exists as an individual universe inside of every single atom, changing with each individual frame of time. Anyways, yes, through complex scientific shit that I don't understand, that's basically what produces matter, or what we can call the material plane, what we're going to call space-time, falling through the monad, and that's our sensation of time, is we're constantly falling into the next moment. But to the monad, it just sees time as a position in a mathematical plane. Okay, so important here, before we talk about our position as subjects of the material plane, we have to understand, first, our senses, our sensory organs are made of matter, right? Our eyes are made of matter, our ears are made of matter, even our brains are made of matter. And so is everything that we perceive with our eyes, ears, and brain, right? It's also important to understand that to the extent that we are individuals, processing our sensory information, reflecting over time, kind of create a sense of individuality, all we can know is our senses and our own reactions to those sensations. We do not know the truth of the world around us. We only know what we can understand. This world that we inhabit is an imagined world based on what is true about the material plane. Our minds are not material. What we understand about reality around us, the way that we interact with it, is not material. It is cognitive processes. I don't know how to spell processes right now. Dyslexia. Sorry, guys. So there's a process of cognition that is turning the senses into reality. There's a basic natural cognitive process that just kind of happens for most living beings. And there is also story building. Because there is no story without first a sense of self. The sense of self is created through both cognitive processes and divine forces. That's basically what your brain is like an antenna for receiving those divine frequencies around you. That's what your senses are for, even in the first place, is to receive sensation of the divine world. That's kind of why you're alive, is to experience life. Here we are in the year 2026, and like a strange string of events has placed us here. What the fuck is going on, and why? Yes, what are we doing here if not acting out a story based on our sense of self? Is that not seemingly our prime directive as humans? It's kind of the only thing we can do, right? I mean, unless, I guess if you can kind of like dematerialize, that can be a form of Zen as well. And that is kind of what we're doing here, is breaking this down to kind of dematerialize it and make a worldview that works for us. Like, this piece of paper is not real. It's not really describing what is really truthfully happening. It's just kind of a framework of, contextualizing you in this place and time. It's the only thing we can do is experience. And so, yeah, this is our place in the world. That's the construction of material reality and a basic overview of the sense of self. It's a quick video. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it.